everybody, Raven fans, Oriole fans. So thank you for joining us this week on our Ravery Sports podcast, the Baltimore Sports Podcast. Thank you for joining us today. So thank you for all of us here. Thank you for going ahead and our Twitter following has been growing. Our social media following has been growing little by little. Thank all of you that have engaged with us and have spoken to us out there. Thank you very much. As always, the business, Genesis Notary Services / Facebook, you can book a spot right on the page, on our social media page, right there. So if you want us to come out in the Shenandoah Valley area, we will come drive out and get that squared away for you. Any location you want for your notary needs there, I will go ahead and do that for you. Website, ravorisports.company.site. You can go on to the website and get that squared away for you as well. So you can go on the website and get that taken care of. Okay, so you can go ahead and buy all of our shirts like this. So right now, I'm got the Jamal Lewis jersey on. Can't see it in the background now. But we got that squared away for you so we can get that. Ravery Sports Tour coming in August. I will go ahead and be announcing the dates next week when we podcast. And we will be going forward podcasting next week. This one's a day late, but we are going to keep going with our podcast here. So we're all going to get that squared away for you as well. All right. So let's go ahead and get down to business here as well. So the video title is Ravens Record Predictions. So we did a video already with the Ravens as far as their record goes, as far as the schedule goes. So we're going to take another look at the schedule, and I'm going to go ahead and predict wins and losses and see what our record is when that actually happens. So we're going to go ahead and do that and get that go ahead taken care of for you as well today. Also, a lot of good stuff today. We're going to go over Raven minicamp, thumbs up, thumbs down. We're going to talk a little bit about NBA Finals. We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on at Undisputed Sports Media. We're going to talk about that. And, of course, always the Orioles and the Aberdeen Ironbirds. We're going to talk a little bit about today as well. All right. So they got the records up. First game against the Houston Texans. We'll go ahead and get this taken care of. Go ahead and get this squared away for you. The first game, this looks like definitely a win for the Ravens. They are a good defense going against a rookie quarterback who's never played the game before. Stroud looks like he has taken over the first team reps in the Houston Texans camp. He's going to probably start for them. This is going to be all day long against the Ravens defense. Ravens were top 10 again in defense at the end of the year, especially once they got Roquan Smith. They're going to win this game against the Texans 1-0. The Cincinnati Bengals game. So that's a game with the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't like the chances in this one, frankly. I don't think they're going to go in early. I think this is a good time to play them, though, early Cincinnati. When you're playing a elite team like this, a team with a top 10 record like this, you want to go ahead and play them early in the year. You want to go ahead and play them sooner rather than later. So this is a team that you want to go ahead and play early. They just don't play well in Cincinnati. They just haven't played well in recent years. I remember even before the Joe Burrow era and Dalton, they had so much problem with AJ Green. And Lando Brown is there 1-1 with the Ravens record there. Here comes another victory here. The Indianapolis Colts. They have the most annoying owner-GM combination of all time with Chris Ballard and Jim Irsay. They're so annoying, both of them. They have a new coach. Anthony Richardson may start for them here. They certainly saying that they like what they see from him. This is a 2-1. They shouldn't be losing this game. I don't think they will lose this game. against the Colts. Colts are still building here again, young quarterback. I think Richardson this is more green than is more green than C.J. Stroud, etc. So we'll go ahead 2-1 with the Ravens record. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. Had to get back there. Get that taken care of. All right. So the Ravens. So we got a 2-1 record for the Ravens here. Week 4 rather. The fourth game rather against the Browns. Not as sure about this one. I'm gonna take Cleveland in this one. 2-2. It depends on what we see. The Ravens have had a lot of Lamar especially has had a lot of success against Deshaun Watson, but I think the Browns are going to be a better team this year. I think Deshaun is going to get a whole full off season. He's finally going to get most of that money, where most of it last year was deferred. Whatever they got from him was a bonus. It will. I still think the Ravens are kind of going to be working things out a little bit on offense. So 2-2 Ravens record there. Steelers. I beat the Steelers on it, even though we're there. I have some issues. I think they're going to be good. It's going to be like what you're seeing right now. I think the North, right now, what you're seeing with the Orioles division, at least. You're going to have a lot of good teams, but I think the Ravens and the Bengals are going to be at the top, and I don't think the Steelers and the Browns are going to be at the bottom. I think the Browns might have enough. I don't know if the Steelers will. I think they've got 8-8 written all over. I think the Ravens beat them on the road. So I like the Ravens in this game, 3-2. They've had success in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh doesn't. I don't think they're going to score enough points. In Tennessee, against Tennessee, it's listed as a road game, but the game is a neutral site game in London. So Tennessee Titans, not the Jags. That definitely matters. Ravens should win this game. Give their record 4-2. Better team than I think Tennessee is. Tennessee, I don't know what we're going to get. Where it is they're moving Tannehill, he's still there. Where it is they've been moving Henry, he's still there. I don't know exactly what they're going to be getting as well. Not sure. Long trip for them. And also the Jaguars. It's not the Jaguars here. Big deal. Jaguars are used to playing in London. They were volunteers of playing in London so many times. Tennessee, maybe if they played in London, but they haven't in a while. It won't be more to the point. It won't be as big an advantage for them, like it would be Jags who constantly play up there. Detroit Lions. Now this is definitely a win to put them at 5-2, but this is not as easy as it was. The Lions might be the favorites in their own division, so Detroit rather is really good. I think the Ravens defense is too much. I think Goff, when you're playing against Jared Goff on his quarterback, you move his feet. 5-2. I think the Ravens go to. The Ravens defense, I think, will be too much for them. I don't think they're going to have enough thunder. I think their corners cover the good line receivers there. 5-2. Arizona on the road. It puts the record to 6-2. I think they beat Arizona. There's no Kyler Murray there. They're going to start Colt McCoy. Should be in this game. Colt McCoy is actually better than what you think. Colt McCoy, I think, is one of the better backup quarterbacks. He kind of reminds me of the name that comes to mind is more old school, like Frank Reich. Very good backup for many, many years. Not a great starter, but he's a decent enough starter. He's not a guy that you got to prepare for. They're not going to have enough to beat the Ravens on the road. I think the Ravens keeping everybody healthy. I think also too at this point, we should see more what the offense looks like. She should more the offense kicking into gear here. So let's see what happens there. So I have a let's see, it's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6-2. Okay, I had that right. All right, so 6-2. They're home against Seattle. That's another win. So that puts it to 7-2. Seattle. I'm not sure Geno Smith is going to be as good as what we saw last year. Geno Smith, God bless him. He had a great year last year. I honestly forgot he was in the league. Just about. Good for him. Shout out. Played hard. Got in there. I thought at the end of last year, he was kind of leveling off a bit. I'm not sure that they're going to have the same level of success that they had. 7-2. They're Cleveland Browns again. That's a win. I think they go ahead and beat Cleveland at home. I think the team also should be rallying the form. Then I think they're going to win a lot of these late season home games that they have. I think they would have seen them one time. And again, big part of the schedule, getting these games at home late. Division games. All the division games are early on the road. Cincinnati early, Cleveland early, Pittsburgh early. A lot of these late season, now we're in November, games at home. So they beat Cincinnati too. I absolutely agree with that. So they go ahead and they beat Cincinnati as well. They go ahead and get that squared away. So let's see what that is. I think that's 9-2. Wow. Okay. All right. So let's go to Los Angeles Chargers. Sunday Night Football. I don't know about this one. This may be a loss here. I don't feel as good about that. Chargers are really good. You have to go cross country. I think also too, sometimes you get a bit of a break if it's a Sunday night game. It doesn't mess up the mojo of the schedule too much. Chargers should be really good. Justin Herbert, that's a long flight, a long trip that you're taking across country. I think not liking the chances as much in this one, so I think that's a loss. Bye week, December, good time to get a bye, like that, right? December, then you go ahead December 10. The Rams. I don't know what Rams team we're gonna have. I think we're gonna put down 10-3 here. It should be a win. I don't know what we're gonna get exactly with the Rams. Cup just restructured his contract the other day. Matthew Stafford should be back under center. We don't know what we're gonna get from their running backs, etc. They should have Aaron Donald back. They traded away Ramsey. I don't know exactly. I'm more leaning to they're going to bounce back closer to what we saw as a Super Bowl team. I don't know if they're that level, but I don't think they're going to – a 5-win season is in the card for them. They should be playing a good Rams team if healthy here in December. Here's a loss probably to Jacksonville on the road. Another Sunday night game. Games may be flexed. I don't think this one will. I think both of these teams will be in the playoff chase at the end of the year. I think both of these teams will be in the playoff contention. I think this will definitely be on a Sunday night. It's going to stay there. Jags are a very good team. Jags, I think, might be one of the better teams. We're going to find out if they can be one of the better teams in the entire NFL and the entire AFC. So we're going to go ahead and check that out there as well. Also not feeling great about the Niners game. So that puts them, I think, 10-5 there. Niners, I think, are going to be good regardless of who the quarterback is. They have defensive studs, offensive studs at every level. Williams, one of the best maybe the best offensive tackle in the NFC. You have Fred Warner, great middle linebacker. I mean, they're loaded. I don't even think it. I almost don't even want to say it doesn't matter. I think it'll be Brock Purdy. It seems like Kyle Shanahan maybe trying to look like put a smoke screen out there, telling people maybe it's going to be Trey Lance. I don't buy that. I think it's Brock Purdy's team now. To go ahead, at least for the foreseeable future. Miami, victory there in the last week at M&T Bank Stadium. I think they're going to be ready to play this one here. Miami in the late stages, they were beating them up good until the late stages last year. They're going to be ready. I also don't think Tua plays this long a season. I've been saying that. I think Tua's time is not going to be much longer in the league. I think with all his concussions, all of his injuries, things like that. Not on his talent. Not on his talent. His talent, he's very talented. But his time is about up here. And one more victory against the Squealers. So I don't think Pittsburgh is in playoff contention here at the end. I don't know. It says that it kind of leaves it open this week here. I think Pittsburgh kind of is going to be where they've been. This isn't a record video for the whole league here. I think they're going to kind of be where they've been for the whole. I think about 8, 9, 9 and 8, something like that for them is where they're going to be. So there you go. So once we go ahead and add this all up, there is our record. 12-5 for the Ravens. So Ravens 12-5. That looked about right. I think they have some tough road games. Tough at Jacksonville. Tough at San Fran. Tough division games. Cincinnati, Cleveland, even Pittsburgh. I think you know those games are going to be close. I think otherwise they should win a lot of these games. I don't look at any of these teams that they're playing and say, "Oh wow, well it can't be." A lot of these teams have issues. A lot of these teams, AFC West, a few years ago, I mean, you looked at that and said, "Wow, well, like now, so they're much better shape." I think 12 wins. I think they can win the North. I don't know if that's enough to win the North, AFC North, but we will see about that as we go ahead and go forward. All right. So we got that squared away. Ravens record predictions. So we're going to go ahead and do that as well. Ravens minicamp. Okay, so this is like they're in the middle of the mandatory minicamps. So the mandatory minicamps for the Ravens are going on. So they've had organized team, mandatory. Okay, so this is their mandatory minicamp where you see guys actually on the field here. All right, so we got that taken care of here. Let's go ahead and take a look. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Who's looking good in camp? Who is looking bad? Now, this is just based on published reports. I haven't been to one, but just going on several reports that I've read as far as who's looking good here so far. Nelson Aguilar is sounding good. Nelson Aguilar, I think, understands he's had his fight on his hands. I hear he was the first one out. Been out. He's actually been seeing Lamar several times. He's been working hard to go ahead and get in. He understands he's going to have to fight for his roster spot, and he's going to go ahead and do that. He's going to go ahead and work hard at it. So I've heard good things so far about Nelson Aguilar. Did have a drop. That's the concern with him. It's a problem. But I think Aguilar is actually not bad. I actually do like this. Aguilar as a third-ish, fourth-ish, fifth, it's definitely more productive than what they've had. If you go ahead and have that. David Ajabo. I think it's a David has been looking for. He's going to have a big role. It's going to matter a lot what happens. No Justin Houston, no Pierre Paul. Could be because David Ajabo's look really good in camp. So we'll see how that goes. David Johnson, so far so good. I think likely big surprise. He's looked good. Period. I think the only flaw with him is playing well with Andrews. That's the thing I gotta get him to work on. When he plays without Andrews, last year when Andrews missed games, just fine. Or if he's on the field without Andrews and he's more of an option, just fine. But I don't think there's an issue here at all with Isaiah Likely getting it squared away. Ben Mason. I think part of the Ravens wants to replace Ricard with him and get a cheaper option. I think if at all possible. I wouldn't put that out of the room. If Ben Mason looks strong enough, that's one reason why I brought that up. I don't think it's ridiculous that they want to go ahead and go away from Beckham, go away from Mason. Just jump to the next one. Odell Beckham Jr. On the field, practicing without pain. He said he feels good out there, working with Lamar. I can't wait to see how this turns out. I gotta put myself in three buckets here. The owner of Ravorisports Sports, the website, as far as that goes, that selling jerseys, whatever. Kind of excited about that part, maybe selling some Beckham jerseys. Also excited about the part where the content creator side. How's this going to work with Harbaugh? I can't wait to see how this turns out. I can't wait to see how it turns out. And the receiver, the fan, that's what I want to see too. I think as a receiver, I think he'll be just fine. As long as he's healthy, his hands and catches are – you're going to get so many 50-50 balls with Odell Beckham that you didn't get before. So let's go ahead. Thumbs down. Who's not so great for us? Let's start backwards here. The two corners, young guys, Pepe Williams, think maybe he's had a little bit of an injury. Justin Armour-Davis, maybe on the wrong side of the roster bubble this year. Not doing so well here. Heard in camp so far. Receivers. Now, they have improved their receiving core, and they're getting used to that. So that has something to do with it as well. Thumbs down. Gus Edwards hasn't played, been on the field, I don't think much. So I think maybe they're tiptoeing a bit. Not a good sign. I think guys have had all off-season. Guys have had all – I always kind of look at that like not so worried about it, though. Nothing I hear that's super serious that's going on with Gus, but a little bit of an issue there. J.K. Dobbins. I don't know what to say about J.K., frankly. Clearly it's this. I'll say this for sure. Clearly frustrated with something. Last year, he's kind of popping off at the mouth about carries and bell count, and I think some of this thing is right. I think he just knows how important this season is for him and how well he has to, and I think he's been frustrated with it. Yeah, I don't know what to think about JK. I don't know. I don't think he's going to get what he wants. I'm starting to kind of think that he's not going to get what he wants in Baltimore. JK, as good as he is, John Harbaugh does not, I've said this all season, does not believe in bell cow. He kind of is a guy that believes in tandem and rotation and hot hand. And that's not going to make him money. I think that's part of his frustration. And Rashad Bateman on the shelf here, not good. Again, nothing season ending or anything like that. What I've heard here so far with the recording, but again, kind of like not healthy. Kind of like really hurting to come around. Waiting for the. Yeah. So I think also too for him, especially now you have we just talked about Nelson Aguilar in camp, Odell Beckham's here, Zay Flowers is here. So yeah, it's not a great time for him. You know, this would be a good time for him to maybe establish himself as a number one receiver, starting receiver, and he's on the show again. All right, so that's just like a quick synopsis of many of the mandatory mini camp here so far. At least the day one and reports on day two. So we will go ahead and go over that as well. We will go ahead and keep up here with that, with the Ravens mandatory mini camp. So let's go ahead and take a look at this here. It is over. NBA Finals. See the final score there, 94-89, where the Nuggets go ahead and won their first NBA title. Go ahead, good for them. An old ABA team going ahead and getting that squared away, getting that taken care of. I did not know they had never been to a finals before. I did not know that. They look really good. Here is a clip from the game here uh, where they will go ahead and get that taken care of here. Gonna pull that clip up for you guys. All right, and there it is, the great Mike Green there with that on the call. And the Nuggets go ahead and win the NBA Finals over the Miami Heat. Let's talk about the Nuggets first. Nuggets, I thought were better team, just period. I thought about the old Magic Johnson years ago when he's talking about when he played Bulls in '91 Finals, and he said about the Bulls. This was after Game 4. They were down to 3-1 at this point, and he said, "I really can't be mad here because they're just giving us a nice butt kicking." And that's what this was. It was evident. It was evident that the Nuggets were a better team. It was evident that the Nuggets had a better squad. It was evident that the Nuggets had more talent. They were bigger, stronger, faster. That's just what it was. What it was. I thought the Heat would win. I thought Butler would play better than he did. I don't. I think what. Well, I'm standing up to it. I thought the Nuggets, the ball movement that they have is phenomenal all season long. You look at them move the ball very, very well. Jokic, especially, they're definitely a team. Teams in the NBA are reflective of one or two things or both. Hopefully both, but one or two things. Um, you're reflective of your best player. You're reflective of your coach. I think this team was reflective of the best player. No, Jokic, ball movement, moves the ball around, looks for the open man, dominant, shoots well from the outside, dominant on the inside. I thought this team was dominant, period. I thought they were just bigger. They couldn't do anything with Jokic. Jokic was just basically toying with them the whole series. I thought Jamal Murray, I thought he didn't even have his best series. I thought Mark Gordon, I think he beat best player on that teams. This is a really good team. I think the question is, can they parlay this into being young like this into several championships? So we'll see with that. Miami. I think I was very impressed by Miami even in defeat. I thought they were clearly overmatched here. Nobody talking about Tyler Hero missing these games. That was a big deal. Like, he was 20 points a game average during the regular season. So that mattered that they didn't have Tyler Hero in this series. Butler didn't play as well. I think he had his hands full with Jamal Murray. That's clear. They really put different guys on him. I saw Murray especially, but I think that kind of took his legs a bit, where it took his scoring down a bit. And for him to win, he had to go crazy every game. And that really didn't happen. He had some good games. He was good even last game. He was really good. But that wasn't enough to go ahead and get it squared away. And the Heat were kind of reflective of a team that got as far as they could get. Bam, I would say I was very impressed with him. I'm always very impressed with him. The issue with him is he's not a great scorer. He's a good scorer, but having him as your second scorer, it's not enough. You can clearly see when they're playing a team like Denver with a lot of really good scores, a lot of defensive power. So that was the issue there. Clearly, you're seeing out here they may be going after Kyrie Irving. They may be going after Damian Lillard in the offseason. I think that's what they have to do. They're gonna need somebody else there to do that. And Tyler Hero not being there matter. Got to get him healthy. I mean, as good as he's had like 20 points a game. He's missed like 15, 16 games every season. So can he become the Tyler that they're hoping for with that? We'll see. So we'll see. So good. I thought the finals, I think it was just a bucket. I think the Nuggets really established themselves as that. Jokic, finally Pete Joker, he's fantastic. No more questions about him. More questions about what he could do. Great regular season, great postseason, great leadership. I'm impressed with that too. Really looks like a team follows him. So good job by the Nuggets going ahead and winning the NBA Finals. So there you go with that. So Nuggets going ahead and winning in the NBA Finals. So let's go ahead and let's do baseball summer. So that's what we're going to be talking about here. Let's talk about everything. Get that squared away. Ironbirds, come on, answer my email, man. See if we can get some Ironbirds players here on the Ravorisports Sports Podcast. Get that taken care of. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look. So we're going to take a look at baseball summer, our Evergreen Ironbirds. So we're looking at not just the players. This is a team that's been really good this year. But we're just looking at just the premier prospects, what the team actually looks like, how the team is actually performing overall. So we're going to look at the best players that they have and some of the stats of those guys. This probably, I would say, out of all the teams in the minor league system, in the Orioles minor league system, pitching-wise, you're in the best shape. I think out of all the teams in the Orioles minor league system, pitching-wise, you're in the best shape here. So the hope, I think, at A level, some of these guys come up. Not known as prime prospects yet, but some of these guys are having decent enough seasons, I think. I think we all know how good Jackson Holiday is. Check out Jackson Holiday. He is making mincemeat, for lack of a better word, of the A-ball pitching. 344 average, hitting 16 stolen bases, 39 RBIs, 7 home runs. He's been dominant. When you have a guy, one thing you want to look at with top prospects or prospects, period, dominance at the lower levels. A-ball, half season A, double A, rookie, are they dominating? Are they the best player on the field? And it's clearly what's going on here with Jackson Holliday. Clearly, he's destroying a lot of this A-ball pitching. The question is, can you leave him in A the whole season? I think they might like to. Might have to move him to double A. I don't know if he's doing so well. You may not even be doing him a favor by leaving him in A-ball because he's just really killing. He's just killing the game. The only knock I have on Jackson Holliday, and I'll say this, interesting to see. He's a small guy. He's like 6 foot. Maybe not for professional athlete standing, maybe not for real life standing, but professional athlete standing. Let's see how his power holds up. Really ain't for power, and he's not a big guy. Let's to see how that holds up as he goes to a higher level. That's the only question I have with Jackson Holliday. No question about it. Dylan Beavers, I think is fantastic. Dylan Beavers, I think, is one of the better prospects in the minor league system. I really like Dylan Beavers. Not hitting the ball particularly well here so far, and A-ball, stealing a lot of bases. He's in right field. I think I projected him as more of a center fielder, but he's been playing right field for them. 3 home runs, 20 RBIs, 13 steals. He's a leadoff man. I think I've ever seen him. He's tall. He's more leadoff man. I think going forward, got to bring that average up. I think he probably stays at 8 all year to see if he can bring his average up. Max Wagner, I thought it was a steal. I thought when they drafted him in the second round, this guy was an outstanding player at Clemson. Outstanding player at Clemson. One thing for sure with him, unlike you worried with prospects like Jackson Holliday we just talked about, he is going to hit for power. When you see guys hit for power in college, they have the aluminum bats. Sometimes you wonder, well, can they do it at the NFL? Can we do it? I mean, at NBA, NFL, yeah. At Major League Baseball, that's where he's going. Sometimes you wonder that. You don't wonder that with Max Wagner. He's going to hit for power. He's going to play good third base. I think that's the right spot for him. Average still a little low, and those are the things like that. I'm actually worried about, can he hit consistently for average? Can he do those other things as well? 15 steals, a little bit surprised. I mean, considering how fast he is. Judd Fabian. This has probably been, along with Jackson Holliday, their best player. 22 years old, 9 home runs, 43 RBIs, 18 steals. Very good. Tall, about 6 foot, about 195. Been really, really good for them this season. These have been the 4 guys really that have gotten most of the at bats for them, as far as that goes, and they've been really, really good. So, looking to bring that average up. This is a guy maybe I could see going through and progressing. Definitely, he's done well enough to get a promotion to Double A, and not really a top prospect. Still kind of young. 22 years old, so we'll see how he progresses through the system. Maybe he could be at the major league. Alex Pham has been really good. 23 years old, 3.25, 8 ERA, 67 strikeouts. Gene Pinto has been really good. Here's another one here. Kind of prospect kind of sneaks up on you. A little bit older for A-ball, 22 years old, but pretty good. 66 strikeouts. It's a lot. 2.78 ERA. I doubt he stays all year at Aberdeen. He's probably going to go to Bowie sooner rather than later. I'd be surprised if he stays there. These are more guys that, not prospects, but playing well enough. Sometimes they can put these guys in the late bloomer category. Ryan Long, good season. 3.33, 2.38 ERA. Ryan Long doesn't look too bad when I've seen clips of him. Not overpowering stuff, but I think sometimes that can work. I think you still can have, everybody doesn't have to throw 98 all the time to go ahead and get guys out. Cooper Chandler, 26 years old, 3.3, 2.87 ERA. Pretty good. Also along with Jake Lyons, 5-1, 3.11 ERA. So you have about 5 guys there that are definitely going to go to Bowie and see what they can do. Definitely, there's room to move in the Orioles organization as far as guys that can. Definitely, there's room to move in the Orioles organization with the pitching. There are guys that really, uh, they're really lacking. You look at guys, Mountcastle and all those guys. Not Mountcastle. You look at the DL Hall, what I meant to say, and Grayson, your two top prospects, and then after that, and they've struggled so far this year. So we'll see how that goes. So Ironbirds. So definitely check out Ironbirds game as well. Those are the names that we need to so, and that's the whole point of this. Kind of see guys go through the system and see if they could go ahead and get promotion. So we're doing a little bit of baseball summer. We're going to talk about Del Mar Shorebirds, and we're going to talk about the College World Series next week. So we will go ahead and do that one as well. All right. So let's go ahead and get to this. So Shannon Sharp, our good friend there, Shannon Sharp, on Undisputed, former Raven, signed off for the last time as the host of Undisputed. He thanks the Bayless, thanked everybody there. And this is one of the biggest jobs in sports media. That's why we're talking about this. I mean, I talked about this. One of the Undisputed, First Take, The Herd, Inside the NBA, Pat McAfee. 5 biggest right now, most significant roles in the sports business as far as sports media. So those are the things that you kind of look at. So who's going to replace Shannon Sharp? Let me go ahead and tell you a couple of names here. We're going to throw it out here. I'm going to tell you who I want in the roles. There's no way they take it at person, but I'm going to tell you anyway who I think would be better. There's a couple names that I would like to see there as far as in the role here. All right, so let's look at this. Speak for Yourself. One of their shows internally. A lot of people think it's going to be an internal hire. Sean McCoy, a lot of people think he's already got the job. Marcellus Wiley talked about that. It might fit. I'm not as excited about that. I honestly can say I haven't watched him enough to really say that. He's the one I'm probably the least familiar with. Emmanuel Acho, I'm more familiar with. I think would be might make sense. Joy Taylor, she's actually done Undisputed. I don't think I like Joy Taylor sometimes. I think that's not a good fit for her. Like arguing with Skip every day, I don't think that'll work. I think there's a good shot she could. I would say with her, and I'm bringing her up. If she wanted it, I think she would get it. I think like she's one of their top choices, Joy Taylor. If she actually wanted the job, I'm not sure she does, but I think that would be interesting. Again, going by reports, might be a little contract up here with the ESPN morning show here, and I think a lot of these guys are contributors to the show. Contributed to like a First Take a Debate show. Keyshawn Johnson, I thought it was one of the most overrated receivers of all time. He's a very good analyst. I think he'd be very good in that role. I think he's very similar to Sharp. I think he's a little bit more matter of fact than Sharp. I think Jay Williams, I think, is better than what people think he is. I don't think people always agree, but I think him working would work well. Kellerman, I think, might be the most available. I think he's already worked the show. He's already did his First Take for years. I think he kind of maybe he's fallen out of favor. I mean, they're giving his spot to Pat McAfee. So I think it'd be very interesting to see Max Kellerman. Not as excited about that. I don't think that would be as good a fit. as well, like Kellerman in particular. Let's go to some other. Let's go to some other personalities there. FS1, their other show, First Things First. I haven't liked First Things First that much since Chris Carter left. So I think Kevin Wallace is just flat out awful. I don't. I think he's almost. I think he's kind of tolerable in the role he's in now, where like he's the role Jenna Wolf was in. They can't possibly be considering him. Chris Broussard, I think, is a safe enough choice. I think he'd be pretty good. I think Chris Broussard. I think you could definitely live with that one. Rob Parker, I'm gonna mention his radio partner. Rob Parker, I think, is very good. I think that might happen. I think Rob Parker was actually maybe on his way at ESPN at one point to this job. He kind of fell out of favor with some comments that he made. I think he'd be fantastic doing that. Nick Wright is actually one of the guys I want. I think it'd be perfect. Nick Wright, I think, is a different age as Skip. I think he yells a lot more. He's a LeBron guy. Skip hates LeBron. I think he'd be perfect. I absolutely think Nick Wright would be fantastic in that type of role. Problem with Nick Wright is it'll probably be more expensive. He's kind of the number one guy on the show. I think he's the most talented guy on his current role. So he's going to be harder. It's going to be harder for him to want the job and move him. It'll be very interesting to see that as well. But I think the last two I'm pretty excited about. Like if it's Rob Parker or Nick Wright, I don't have a big problem with that. Here are a couple of names. I think Mad Dog Russo would be an interesting one. But I don't think you're gonna get him at all. I think that would be an interesting one. He's the only guy I know louder than Stephen A. Smith. My goodness. He never shuts up. JJ Redick is good. I love JJ Redick on First Take. I think he's the one I think that checkmates Stephen A. the most. I think he's very knowledgeable about the game of basketball. I think he's a fearless guy. I think it'd be great. Kind of like Nick Wright here. Different era, different thought process. I think he's very good at it. He's not my number one choice. Michael Irvin, I think, would be interesting as well. Michael Irvin, I think, is very loud, very energetic. I think he'd take the job too. I really think Michael would be very good. Interesting to see them talk about the Cowboys. You almost want to say no because Skip is such a Cowboy guy. He's actually sitting across from a Cowboy legend. So it'd be very interesting to see how that goes. This guy would never take the job, but if Kwame Brown took this job, that would be awesome. That would be fantastic. I couldn't wait to see Kwame and Skip. Kwame Brown is the total opposite of Skip Bayless, total opposite of an establishment guy, total opposite of anything you're looking for there. I thought Kwame Brown, if he was to take the job, that would be fantastic. He'd never do it, I don't think, but I'd love it. So that is my choice for Undisputed. The new host of Undisputed. We will see how that plays out. I think it's going to be Sean McCoy. He's talking almost like on Twitter like he already got the job, so maybe he knows something we don't. I don't think that's been decided yet, but we will see who gets one of the biggest jobs in sports. All right. Orioles. I usually don't talk about a standalone game like this. I'm going to talk about the Orioles and Brewers on June 8th. At American Stanley Field. Massive Orioles 6-3 win. It was a fantastic single game. I've been really critical of Kyle Bradish. He was fantastic in this. Yeah, he gave up 3 runs in the first inning. What did he do? He shut him down the rest of the game. That is what you want to see. A lot of growth from him this year. Doing very well. His last start last night also, he was great again, even though he lost. I thought I was very impressed with Kyle Bradish to start. Felix Bautista, I think he's going to be on the All-Star team. Absolutely great closeout for him in this one. Anthony Santander. Kind of, it's funny. The last video I said he was good in May. Then the video airs and he's in an 0 for 25 slump. And he goes ahead, gets a huge hit, breaks out of his slump. Gunnar Henderson, kind of the same thing, breaks out of the slump and hits. I thought, man, this was breathtaking. I loved it. I thought the Orioles, this is exactly shows the mark of a good team winning a game like this. Going down early, showing adversity, coming back and winning with guys that are not always performing great at the time. So I thought it was fantastic what they did in this game. Gunnar is coming around. Yeah, he's cooking, isn't he? He's really doing it. He's been leading off for Cedric Mullins, who's still not back yet. This is what we expected. His bat speed is just way too good talent. Last year he came up, they didn't have a book on him. They couldn't do anything with it. This year, they kind of get a book on him. He kind of struggles a bit. Now, what is he doing? He's adjusted. He's been fantastic lately. He's been, you could argue, he was the best player of the week last week in the AL. So he's been outstanding. Averages up, I think, around 250 now. Where he's around 200. He was incredible in this game. I loved it. I loved it. I thought the Brewers are a good team as well, but Orioles, outstanding. This is the second best team in the whole major leagues. You talk about the Orioles. So good job by the O's getting this done, getting this taken care of, winning this game. Ryan Mountcastle, my boy, is going to the IL for 10 games. You're seeing a lot of Ryan O'Hearn in there. Ryan O'Hearn, by the way, has been outstanding. He's been hitting over 300, so that's why he's getting so much playing time. But that was he's going to be missing some games. A lot of roster moves the Orioles are making. Definitely check out the Ravorisports Sports Twitter page, Facebook page for a lot of these roster moves that the Orioles are making. We're in the dog days now. All right, so we're in the middle of the season. Guys start pulling hammies. Guys start getting hurt. Guys start missing time. Happens like that. You had Mo's on the DL. Now you got Mountcastle. You got a couple guys injured. We're still waiting on John Means. So yeah, we're in dog days now. So we're actually going to see what happens here. The second best record in all of the ML, right? Beating the Blue Jays. Beating the Brewers in this game. They've been fantastic. Sweeping the Royals out. This team is really, really good. It's been also fascinating to see not even the guys with the injuries they've had, they've been doing well. Aaron Hicks has been outstanding. Ryan O'Hearn has been outstanding. The pitching, hey, Grayson struggled. What's it? Cole Irvin now back. Good job by the Orioles all season long. So better than even we expected. We were hoping that they would do well. Definitely, they're gonna get. I don't think 90+ wins is out of the question. So for the Orioles, so definitely we're gonna go ahead and hopefully get Orioles victory as we go forward and as we go into playoffs and get that squared away. All right, so definitely check us out here with the Ravery Sports Podcast, the Baltimore Sports Podcast. Definitely next week we're gonna do more Orioles, a little bit more baseball heavy for you next week. Also too, we're going to talk about all-stars. Okay, so I'm gonna do kind of like a mock all-star, right? Then if I was to pick the whole all-star team. So for the AL and the NL. So we're going to go ahead and go over that. Go first. Report. Social media. Doing a list here for who's the video. All time. Controversial. Sometimes a lot of people agree, a lot of people disagree. That's right. A little surprised in some areas that some guys aren't getting more love than others. Some guys are kind of forgotten about. Some guys, that's the way that goes. So thank you very much for responding. on social media, I've been putting it out. I'll be finishing that out, I think, tomorrow. I think was the last one. So we're going to go ahead and get that taken care of. All right. So thank you for joining us this week for the Ravery Sports Podcast, the Baltimore Sports Podcast. Thank you for joining us, and you have a great rest of your day. Thank you for joining us.